Hey YouTube, what is up? Today we're going to talk about the 2016 MacBook Pros that were released in the Apple keynote. So to start, we have the base model MacBook Pro 2016 model, and it's $1,500 for that price. You get a 2 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor with a turbo boost up to 3.1 GHz, 8 GB of 1866 MHz RAM, 256 GB PCIe-based SSD, Intel Iris Graphics 540, and 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. I would not pay that much for that, to be honest with you. I mean, $1,400 is a lot for the little amount that you're getting. You only get 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Now, Thunderbolt 3 is an amazing technology, but if you want to use something as simple as your USB-A flash drive, then you're going to have to buy adapters. So that's going to cost you even more money. So don't think you can pay $1,400 and be done. You will absolutely 100% have to buy adapters. So let's move on to the next model. That's $1,800. It's got a 2.9 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor with a turbo boost up to 3.3, 8 GB of 2133 MHz RAM, 256 GB PCIe-based SSD, Intel Iris Graphics 550, and 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. And it also has another cool feature that was introduced called the Touch Bar, and it also has a Touch ID. So there is now a fingerprint scanner on the MacBook. So that's cool. I know a lot of people like fingerprint scanners. And like I said, that model is $1,800. So the only real difference is, see, between that, I think that price between the base model and that model is justifiable because you get a more powerful processor, you get the touch bar and the ID sensor and whatnot. So that seems perfectly fine. Still a bit overpriced because you're gonna need lots of adapters, like I said. But the difference in price between the two seems fine. Now let's go on to the next model, which is where things start getting crazy. The next model is $2,000, and it has 2.9 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor with a turbo boost up to 3.3, 8 GB of 2133 MHz RAM, 512 GB PCIe-based SSD, Intel Iris Graphics 550, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and the touch bar with ID sensor. So that one is $200 more, and do you know what you're getting for that extra $200? You're getting a couple extra gigabytes of flash storage. See, that seems ridiculous. On top of all of the adapters you're gonna buy, that's gonna be like a $3,000 computer that has only average specs. Now let's look at the base model 15-inch MacBook Pro. So with the base model, you get a 2.6 GHz quad-core Intel Core i7 processor with a turbo boost up to 3.5, 16 GB of 2133 MHz RAM, 256 GB of PCIe-based flash storage, Radeon Pro 450 with 2 GB of video memory, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and Touch ID and Touch Bar. So I think that's a pretty fair leap in price from the first MacBook because you get a bigger screen, you get more speakers, you get a quad-core processor, and you're also getting a GPU. So that's a fair leap in price, even though all of these MacBooks are considerably overpriced. But it's when you get to the next model, again, is when it starts getting pretty, greedy. So with the next model, you get a 2.7 GHz quad-core Intel Core i7 processor, turbo boost up to 3.6, 16 GB of 2133 MHz RAM, 512 GB of PCIe-based flash storage, Radeon Pro 455 with 2 GB of video memory, 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, touch bar, and Touch ID. So and that one is $2,800, and the first one is $2,400. So for an extra $400, you get another gigahertz. Or actually, no, you get another 100 megahertz is what I meant. Oh man, you get another 100 megahertz, and you also get some more storage. No. Well, actually, maybe, because you're getting a 455, but can the 455 be that much better than the 450? $400 seems like a bit much, because it really isn't that much more. I think $200 would be fine of a boost for those kind of specs. So yeah, they've gotten a little, the MacBooks haven't really changed much at all. The only real difference is the touch bar in an integrated GPU and the Thunderbolt 3 ports. Still underpowered machine, still overpriced. It's ridiculous. I mean, come on, Apple. This is like blatant greed right here. These are expensive computers that don't even come with what you need out of the box. Remember when you could just pull the Mac out of the box, plug it in, turn it on, and you were good to go, you were set? You didn't have to buy all these extra adapters, you didn't have to buy all these extra parts. It's like, oh, you want to do that? Well, you're going to have to buy this now, and you want that. Oh, you should also get Apple Care. Yeah, it's really good, because, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Apple, ever since Steve Jobs died, I know I've said this probably like a million times, Apple only cares about money. They don't care about anything other than money. They are like blatantly screwing their customers to get more money. So, some upsides of the new MacBook is, again, Thunderbolt 3 is great. You do get the butterfly switches. I know there's some people who don't like those. I personally don't like them because the key travel is really short and it feels like you're typing on a brick and it kind of hurts my fingers a little bit. But some people like them because you don't need a lot of force with them. Like, I don't know. I think they're stupid. You also do get an enormous trackpad. Like, you can put your whole hand on the trackpad. It is a very, very big trackpad. It truly is their best version yet. I can't say anything good. These MacBooks are junk. Stay away from them. They are absolute garbage. They're overpriced garbage that need extra shit just to do basic functionality. It's just ridiculous. And you remember with the iPhone 7 how Apple says they had the courage to leap away from the headphone jack. Well, we all know that's not true. They just removed the headphone jack because reasons. But if they really felt as strongly about the headphone jack as they claim, there would not be a headphone jack on these MacBooks. I'm not saying there shouldn't be. I'm just saying it just goes to show that they didn't remove the headphone jack from the iPhone 7 because it was a leap of faith. They had the courage to do so because they're that good. No. They're doing it to screw you out of your money. Look, the only way we can stop Apple from doing this is just stop buying their shit. I mean, once they realize that Tim Cook is not doing anything for the company, they're gonna toss his ass out. And they'll bring someone else in who can hopefully bring Apple back to its former glory. Because Apple used to be one of the best computer companies around. Now it seems like it's more of a fashion company. They're just making products that look really nice. They don't care how they function as long as they look pretty. So, yeah, you got a thin computer, probably super thin heatsink, so terrible cooling, I'm willing to bet. You don't have any standard ports that most people use on a daily basis, other than the headphone jack. And, I mean, the resolution of the screens has not changed. It's exactly the same as it was. They're using the same panels. And the touch bar only comes on the second version of the 13-inch MacBook and up. The base model does not come with any of these cool extra features. All you get is 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports and the really big trackpad. So, just stay away from Apple, guys. It's like, it's become, all of their stuff has just become total shit. And there's all these people who try to give all these stupid asinine reasons that are supposed to justify why they did it, but there's no way to justify it. It's super expensive and lacks basic functionality. End of story. And like, I don't care if you like Mac OS. Like I said, software is terrible. I mean, I've said in previous videos that most of the softwares today are junk. Windows 10 Anniversary is junk, Mac OS Sierra is junk, Linux Mint is junk. As long as the software does what you need it to do, stop complaining and spend less money. Right now, you don't have any benefit to switching to Mac OS Sierra from Windows 10. You don't gain anything from it. You can still use Chrome, you can still edit videos, in fact, you can do more on Windows than you can on Mac OS, so it just seems like the better option. I mean, it's all junk, so damn it. This is really disappointing. I was hoping that Apple would be able to turn things around by adding GPUs, but they're only doing that to the more expensive ones, and they're not even good GPUs. They're just, what the f***? It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. I mean, I could go on forever, so I'm just gonna cut the video here.
And we will hurt nobody for the love of money. We can find our way without so much pain. Take me there, take me, honey. Let me love you again.